It's been a crazy day, folks. What's happening with XRP? Literally, devoted Bitcoin enthusiasts. If you look at the XRP versus Bitcoin pairing, it actually mooned. What did I say that was so ridiculous? As I previously stated, I believe that the liquidity hunting season is about to begin, and I do anticipate a pump back to earlier all-time highs in the near future. Perhaps this is a setback before we climb higher, people, but there are some insanely violent moves ahead. Hi everyone, I hope everyone is enjoying a great extra piece for about $2.95. It dropped to $3 at one point today. Consider that, correct? Consider that. Guys, that's how XRP moves. That's crazy. The other day, XRP reached almost $2.60. What? Whoa. A 30-cent jump guy in a few days. Absurd. The Riddlers were now aware that XRP will be disconnecting today. Why? We are now discussing a portion of XRP and the XRP community, folks. This is really fascinating. Let's compare XRP to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I was hardly enthused as I looked at these other charts, gentlemen. There is no comparison to XRP here. However, Riddlers showed us three distinct routes around 9.24 today. Let's assume that ETH, Bitcoin, and XRP are all traveling in the same direction. Guys, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP all headed in different directions. In essence, it disconnected. Fascinating. This is an interesting point of view, folks. Is it correct that XRP was the only one in the green and XLM was the follower? Did he call it? Right, copied XRP after following it. It is similar to following the leader. Why did XRP spike so sharply? After 7 days of those out of that L flows, the XRP net inflows turned green, and Coinbase USC appeared, causing millions upon millions upon millions of people to invest in XRP. Alright, a hint of green is beginning to appear as well. Alright, it's really small now if you. However, this marks the start of what might be a more significant move. Well, it's brewing here, and I really believe that $3.40 might be on the horizon, guys. Correct? We'll see. Perhaps by the following week. That's absurd. I believe we'll see what transpires by next week. There will likely be a lot of volatility before the black one arrives, in my opinion. The timing of everything is really strange since, in addition to money flowing in at the same time, everything is getting more erratic. Take a look at this. There are no more Coinbase cold wallets. After years of stagnation, cold wallets started to show notable movements in June 2025. They were empty mere days after Bad Garlinghouse's wedding, and at that time, BlackRock was growing its footprint in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, which is why Coinbase currently holds 0 XRP. I'm not really sure what the truth is about these individuals, but it seems like the supply is decreasing over time. This occurred on June 8th. Did I mention supply shock again? Guys, today is Law Day 66 from Chad. What's going on? There's just so much bubbling. It appears that this is entirely appropriate for the month of October. Where do we pump? By the end of this week, the crypto ETF's final proposals are anticipated to be submitted. Soon after XRP soars, they will be authorized. As we can see, companies have rushed to amend their new product filings and address particular SEC comments and inquiries since the SEC originally announced the proposed new listing rules in July. By the end of this week, a last round of modifications might be submitted. 3 persons with knowledge of the situation said. Those filings are fairly far along in the review process, according to the person who requested anonymity. These are the regulations we were expecting, concludes the quotation. Therefore, if all goes according to plan, there will be a number of new products or ETF launches shortly, perhaps in October. Correct? Probably around October, which is why we're most likely going to pump. It's quite wild, isn't it? But I still feel like we're in the middle of the storm? Cointelegraph. On October honest at 10 a.m., the U.S. Senate Finance Committee will host a hearing on the taxation of digital assets. Fantastic. They really need to make some changes here. I would advise them to simply drop it to 0 people. If they truly want the cryptocurrency market to take up in America, they should do that. The American economy is booming, and you know what to do: lower taxes to almost nothing. Either right or wrong. Alright, so some locations have already done this globally, and those locations have, incidentally, become crypto hubs. Yes, since people are tired of paying taxes and other fees. And they say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go somewhere where I don't have to contribute as much. And then, that's the motivation, correct? That place will just become bigger, dude. This might also be a wait to on event. We'll see what transpires. Guys, we literally need nothing at all. This can be a wait to see event. You never know when it will occur. Strangely, October honest occurs practically the following week as well. It's odd that we are familiar with the timeline. It's quite simple. I see a reversal here, nothing too significant, but we'll reach our old autumn highs the following week. It seems to be exactly in line with my thoughts. But hold on, the SEC has released the schedule for Monday's forced joint roundtable with the CFTC, along with the agenda and panelists. What time is Monday? Next week. It's funny, Bank of America and ISDA, two Ripple partners, will also take part. Alright, so they're doing a roundtable discussion on regulatory harmonizations for the SEC and CFTC, guys. In order to provide greater clarity to the space, they will be coming together, guys, to harmonize. Well, the main objective is to investigate potential regulatory harmonization between the CFTC and the SEC, two organizations with separate but overlapping financial markets jurisdictions. The goal is to make the U.S. financial system more competitive and cohesive. Guys, by minimizing regulatory discrepancies, alright? Thus, this will also take place on Monday. Why? The use of tokenized collateral, such as stablecoins, in futures markets will be introduced by the CFTC next week. Alright? Therefore, it appears that stablecoins will play a significant role in traditional finance. Well, you are aware that this implies that RLUSD will be involved. However, once more, the XRP ETFs go online on October 20th, correct? Requesting opinions from the public. You are aware of the time. If you ask me, October seems like a really explosive month. I have no idea why. There's something in the air. It's not Halloween either. However, with stable coins from Securitize, financial transactions that once took days may now be completed quickly. Why? One step toward the widespread use of blockchain-based cash equivalents in financial markets is the incorporation of Ripple's RLUC into tokenized fund products. Through Securitize, the biggest issuer of tokenized securities globally, treasuries leverage the strength of the dollar on-chain with BlackRock's BUIDL and VanEck's VBIL. Alright. We used to take financial days, don't we? There is just a ton of positive news. There are a lot of delays, and the traditional financial system is just that, isn't it? No matter where you look, it's inefficient. However, I suppose it still functions, but people want things to happen more quickly. Easily, don't they? More effective since we live in a modern era. Thus, present stable currency and blockchain technology such as XRP. Alright. Therefore, aside from all the exciting news about explosions that will be released next week, maybe we will, but a decoupling is on the horizon. Alright, congratulations to all of you. Keep in mind that 725 equals 925. Alright, you always add 2 now. Coming out to 925 on July 25th. The orange decoupling of the paper airplane. Alright, decoupling. Now, see what Mr. Poole mentioned. Just 3 is 9 on 325. Thus selling 925 is not permitted. Alright, you are not permitted to sell here, or at the very least, you shouldn't, as there is most likely an impending pump.